Hello, welcome to the Blue Shell Review. Joining me as usual is the distorted view of Matt Chapman.
Hello.
And the distorted views of Alex McMullen.
Hello, sexy people!
Here on the Blue Shell Review, we respect the fact that there are different points of views to gaming. So one such point of view is that I wanted to find the most concise and the most clear point of view when it comes to gaming. So I interviewed a 6-year-old. And the interview goes like this. Joining me is 6-year-old Mason. Hello, Mason.
Hi.
So we're going to ask him some questions. Is that all right, Mason?
Yep.
What is your favourite video game character?
Sonic.
Why?
Because it's super speedy and it does cool stuff.
That sounds about right. Okay, so what do you think is the oldest computer game?
Mario Kart?
Mario Kart. Do you like Mario Kart?
No.
Good man!
Yeah, because when my dad plays with me with 2 players, he always wants to play Mario Kart, but I want to play Donkey Kong or Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay, fair enough. So what video game makes you laugh?
Fortnite.
Fortnite, why?
Because when people trying to shoot the other people, when the people die, when they just have like low health, they just like die straight away.
Yeah, that could be fun, eh? So, here's a good one for you. If you could invent your own computer game, what would it be called?
Jackbot. I mean Jackbot.
What would happen in it?
You can do crazy stuff and just like do cool stuff.
So if you were in Sonic, it being your favourite game, what would you do?
Just try to look around for Sonic and say just hi, I'm this man. Then I'll go like, yo! Yo.
Okay, that was Mason. That was his opinion on gaming. There you go.
Wow.
So, what do we think to Mason's points of view on gaming then?
Do you know what I love, right? Is when you asked him, what do you think's the oldest computer game? And he said Mario Kart. Now, instantly, you're thinking the original Mario Kart. I bet he doesn't even mean that.
It probably means Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8, yeah. That's probably what he means by the oldest game.
Yeah, I thought it was quite cute actually. I really enjoyed that.
It's a good point of view, and
especially I'd love to play Jack Butt.
Yeah, I want to play Jackbot now.
Yeah.
And what could you want from a character other than being super speedy and getting cool stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
That's. But I like the idea of like, you know, we bring point of views in that are not necessarily our own, because you know we're just 3 people and our sort of opinions is kind of what this whole podcast is based on. So the idea of bringing somebody else in has a different point of view. I mean, his favourite game
reflected Alex's point of view about Mario Kart.
You don't. Yeah, and I said, "Do you like Mario Kart?" He went, "No."
Yeah.
Though his reasons are because his dad always wants to play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And he wants to play like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, do you hear that, Alex? Not because he gets battered on it every time.
I know. I reckon he's pretty good at it. I reckon
Yeah.
if he played Alex, then he'd probably still win.
I don't actually get battered. I just lose with style.
No, mate, you get battered. As we've explained before, like you can't help but get hit by things.
But anyway.
You're like a shell magnet.
Anyway.
Well, let's do guess the sound. How about
Sure.
Yeah.
that? Guess the sound. Guess the sound. Okay, this is Guess the Sound. This is the quiz where one of us will play a sound or a theme from a particular computer game, and the others have to guess where that sound has come from. The one who guesses the most wins. This week, I'll be playing the sounds. Are we ready?
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is sound number 1.
Oblivion.
Yes.
Oh, that's how it's going to be.
But I like that it's Oblivion, because when I played it to my partner, she said Pirates of the Caribbean.
That was pretty much where my mind was going.
What, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean? No, that's the next one.
Okay, sound number 2.
Better not be Skyrim.
Yeah, it's just all Bethesda-based games.
Yeah.
These. All right, sound number 2.
GoldenEye.
Yes. Just letting that play a little bit longer there. So yeah, one apiece.
What mission?
Mission?
Yeah.
That was, was that any particular mission?
I think it is in the game. I don't know if it's specific
I
to
thought
a
I thought
particular
it was,
mission.
from the menu.
No, it's not the menu.
Oh, okay. So
I thought
was it the thing on the runway at the airfield thing?
No.
What airfield?
At
The beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is from that level, yeah, the dam. So, one apiece then. Sound number 3.
Streets Raid.
Yeah, well done.
Raid. Streets of Rage.
Rape the raid. Yeah.
Right, 2-1 then to Alex. Going into sound number 4.
Lion Wars.
Yes. Yes. Or Star Fox 64
Do you know what?
as some know
I
it
didn't
as.
get that until you actually said it, and I was like, oh.
So what are we on now? We're on
2-2.
2-all. Always
no.
comes down to a draw. Right, we ready for the last one?
Well.
This should be fairly easy to be fair.
Oh,
So
no,
it'll be-
that's it then, isn't it? I'm going to be going,
Right, sound number 5 then.
Oh, Little Big Fan.
Yep.
Yeah, I won!
Damn it.
Well, there you go. Alex wins Guess the Sound from this week.
At least it was respectable.
Well, thank you, fans. You know, I couldn't have done it without your help. I'd like to thank my mum, my dad, you guys out there, and yeah.
One game that I have played a decent amount of just lately is God of War. Now, God of War obviously being the new God of War, you know, that they've done, which seems to be quite a trend at the minute, of just renaming it, you know. They went God of War,
They've
God of
gone
War
back to
2,
the
God of
beginning,
War
haven't
3,
they?
God of War whatever, and all these other ones. But now they've just gone back to the beginning and called it God of War. But anyway, yeah, that one.
I think this, again, mentioning the game I seem to mention in every podcast, but I think this goes back to the Tomb Raider thing, because that's exactly what they did. And, you had sort of like all these different Tomb Raiders, and then they went back and just called the new one Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider something, so give us a couple of examples.
Well, like Tomb Raider Underworld, Tomb Raider Legend,
It's
Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's almost like they've adapted it to the new generations. You know, older generations, they don't want it to sort of fizzle out with them.
Yeah.
And so they bring it out, but in a fresh view, so that new people can play it.
I mean, to be fair, it's no different to what the film industry do, because you get...
exactly. Like the Batman and...
well, how many times has Batman been remade?
exactly.
Except there's a significant difference here, I think, is if you're comparing the two. With Tomb Raider, what they did is they sort of they threw back. They just called it Tomb Raider, and they retold the sort of origin story, didn't they? Of how Lara Croft went from this sort of...
Well, the tagline was "A survivor is born."
Yeah.
It wasn't back to her origins and stuff, because you'd seen snippets of her origins in the other games anyway, going back to when she was like 16 years old. But this was basically how she became from just being an ordinary person to becoming this sort of legendary sort of hero.
Yeah. Whereas what God of War had done, it's not going back and retreading, you know, old ground. This is all set where Kratos, the main character, is you know, he's getting old, and he's got a son, and
who he just calls boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a hell of a lot of boy, get over here.
I think that's his name.
Yeah.
You actually feel sorry for him in a way. You can relate.
Kratos or boy.
Not necessarily relate, because that's, you know, but
relate to it.
But no, what I'm saying.
Oh
is,
yeah, I've had a cabin in the snow before.
No, what I mean is you can really connect with the characters, because you can see that Kratos really loves his son, but he's trying to hide he's trying to be the masculine, strong dad.
Well, you don't love him that much. You don't even know his name.
Show any sign of weakness.
No, I think I've heard him refer to him with his name, which is Atreus, by the way. I've heard him refer to him as his name a couple
when
of
he's
times.
in real danger.
Yeah, but when it's...
So he's obviously getting worried.
Oh, it's like like when your mum used to full name you, it means she's
Oh no,
annoyed at you.
you should probably go through everybody's name before she gets to the
Yeah.
that's
But do you think he does that?
In my case.
It's like
Boy,
person,
girl,
Dave.
whatever your name is. There's a Hydra behind you.
So,
anyway, let him talk.
Like I say, can't give a full review on it because I've not completed it, and I don't think I'm anywhere near the end. But I've done a decent amount of it, and I will say that I've gone from I'm probably a bit impatient with these things in that I tend to form an opinion quite early on, and I know Alex, you do the same thing, don't you?
Yeah.
So
it
you
needs to
kind of
grip
give it.
me. Because if I'm going to put a lot of time into a game, then I want to know it's going to be worth putting a lot of time into that game.
And
I think that's true for most people, though.
Yeah, I did feel for a while that I was kind of trudging through it, and I kind of felt like the map and the landscape and the environment and everything wasn't really opening up. You know, you were spending a lot of time creeping through little caverns and caves and things like that, and I was a bit sort of, I don't know how much more interesting this is going to get. But I can honestly say it does.
Yeah.
It really opens up. It really becomes interesting. I think the story's gonna really go somewhere. I mean, I could be wrong. But you've so far you've meet some interesting characters. You go to some really interesting places. Some quite epic things start to happen, and it's getting really good. So it's intrigued me to the point where I definitely want to carry on with it. Unfortunately, where I left it the other day was I basically got stuck. I got to a bit where you're supposed to, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but you're supposed to basically get through a doorway, and I couldn't figure out how to open the door. So that was the last point that I played it up to.
You try the handle?
Damn it. But,
Foiled again.
Those pesky handles.
The graphics are amazing. The landscape does start to vary. The combat is really satisfying. And again, that changes. You build that up, you gain new abilities and things like that. So that gets more interesting as you go along.
Okay, I think it's time for Alex's little known gaming fact.
Oh, cool. Okay. Little known gaming facts. Little known gaming facts. Little known gaming facts. Okay, so this is a fact based roughly on Fallout. Okay. So
can I just ask which Fallout?
any of them.
Well, I'm intrigued already.
Any of the.
All right. Okay. So
I'm intrigued already, but based roughly on Fallout.
Right. Okay. So Pip-Boy, what's his famous stance?
He sort of stands with his thumbs up.
Thumb.
Thumb up. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why they do that?
I do, but tell the others.
All right. So during the Cold War, okay, lots of people expected the US and the Soviet Union to exchange nuclear missile strikes. Okay, they thought nuclear Armageddon could arrive at any time.
Yeah.
So, in the event of nuclear Armageddon, what are some tips? One tip was widely popularised was the rule of thumb.
Is that where the term comes from?
The rule of thumb. Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so the rule of thumb says...
Are we going to look that up and now find out that you're completely wrong about it?
Well, no. Well,
I hope not.
Well, lots of people use it. I mean, artists, etc. But
I'm Googling that right now.
all right, okay. So the rule of thumb says that if you extend your arm and put your thumb over a nuclear mushroom cloud, you can tell if you're in danger from radiation. If your thumb covers the entire cloud, you're safe.
Now, how else you can tell?
If
you're too close and you extend your arm out and put your thumb up, your thumb disappears.
that's the one.
I must remember that next time I see a nuclear cloud in the distance.
Just put your thumb up to it.
Yeah, and then if it covers it, I'll just go back in the house and,
They're not saying that was necessarily true, and probably it wasn't, but it was giving people that sort of sense of security. So yeah.
So it was designed as a way of giving somebody hope if you saw a mushroom cloud.
Yeah, and that is why the Pip-Boy has his thumb out.
Right.
Rule of thumb.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't think in reality that would necessarily help you. I mean, if you saw a mushroom cloud, I don't think you're going to have the sense through the panic to go, oh, hold on, everyone, let me just put my thumb up. Oh, no, we're safe, it's fine.
Yeah. Carry on with the barbecue.
Right.
Well, they probably would. They would be the barbecue. So, now that Matt's Googled it, revelation on the rule of thumb.
Okay, I lied because I like Fallout so much.
The rule of thumb has been said to derive from the belief that English law allowed a man to beat his wife with a stick so long as it was no thicker than his thumb.
Fair enough.
There you
Well, it's
go.
not. I mean,
Right, so my subject is
Been made upon the spot.
a game that I've completed and I would like to share.
Definitely been made upon the spot.
doesn't exist.
Share my enjoyment. Outlast.
Oh, yeah.
Indie game. And it's out for both formats, so I assume it's on the PC as well. And the second one has just been released as well. I say just, probably a year to 6 months ago.
A bit like the South Park had just been released.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the new
so-
South Park game.
The
Because
reason,
we're hot on the pulse on these games.
Oh, yeah.
so the reason why I like this Outlast so much is just the psychological effect and the fact that it is an indie game and you don't expect much from indie games until, well, do you really?
No, I don't know. I think there are some
Oh no, there
genuinely
are some,
good indie
no,
games.
I completely agree. Hence, I'm doing this review on Outlast. It's just that you don't expect them because they're so cheap, and you just expect them to be little games that are not really. But this Outlast, I was playing it for hours, and literally, there were certain points where I had to do it in bits. It was basically, I'll tell you the gist of the story. You're a reporter, and you've just received a letter from somebody who says there's a lot of trouble going on at this asylum. You need to go and investigate it because there's a lot of hidden stuff going on, a lot of beatings, etc. A lot of stuff that shouldn't be going on in the mental
I'm
asylum.
thinking that letter would be better served sent to the police.
Probably, I completely agree because at least they'd have turned up with guns.
Yeah.
So you're this reporter, you turn up, and basically all you've got is a video camera.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the thing where you don't have any weapons?
You don't have any weapons. All you can do is hide and run.
Yeah.
This camera, you can look through, you can use night vision. It will require you to record certain parts in the game so that you've got evidence, you're building up evidence, etc. But you're going around a mental asylum and you can't find any doctors anywhere, or if you do, they'd be beheaded, hung,
Or is it like the patients have taken over the asylum?
Exactly. And it's just completely nutty. And the storyline is really, really good. The graphics, they're good. They are good. I've seen a lot worse. But
You sounded like you would try and convince yourself more than us then.
no, well,
They're good.
Yeah,
they are good.
Yeah.
No, right, they are good. They're not brilliant, but they are good for an indie game
Well,
and
like
how
I said,
much
it's
it
an indie game,
costs.
so
But you really get the feel for being in there, and it's a very psychological game as well because it's not just got the elements of mad people running around. There's a lot of jumpy parts where you don't expect someone to come running out at you.
So it sets the atmosphere well.
The atmosphere is amazing. To be honest, it's probably one of the best atmospheric games I've played. I
Ooh,
won't
that's
say
quite a bold statement.
it is. I won't say out of every game I've played, but it's definitely up there. Really, if any of you
I think
lot-
for me, like the best game for an eerie atmosphere has got to be Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, but that's up there as well. But that is an established, well-known game.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
and the times I've played that game where I've been sat like, in the dark, sound all turned up and all that, and you do feel like you're there. And they have this really clever way of like the music and the score in the game is really cleverly designed because there's times where they just shut it off completely and there's no music. All you can hear is like creaks and eerie noises in the background.
Yeah.
It really does set the.
Or your radio going white noise
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things like that.
So is it akin to that?
I'd say that when we're on about the atmosphere, I'd say there is certain eerie parts where you can just hear like whispering, they're talking all mad and
Sorry, mate, I can't hear.
they're talking all mad and you don't know what's happening, and then all of a sudden one of them comes running at you from out of a room that you'd already been in, but there was like a secret hatch in there or something. It's just really, really gripping, and the story, like I say, is very good.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this week's Blue Shell review. And that's it. Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me!